Hey, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning into the show. We're here with the fabulous Astasia Miguel.
Hello, 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 hello.
Does everyone say your name like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
Astasia. You will not believe how that name even came about. It's crazy.
But how'd that happen?
So my mom named me Astasia Miguel.
Okay.
My mom is Black American. My dad is white, Portuguese, and Carib Indian.
Okay.
And he's not from America. So his accent, he doesn't say it right. So he says Astasia. So everyone just says Astasia. His last name is Miguel as well. So
Got you.
yeah. So it went from Astasia to Astasia.
Okay. Yeah. I like Astasia.
Yeah, right. It
Yeah.
has that little,
It's got a flair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a Caribbean feel.
So you said your dad's Portuguese.
Yes, my dad is white. He's a Scottish white, Portuguese, and Carib Indian.
Okay. What's that last one?
Carib Indian, they're a little bit more wild than your typical Indian, like your typical Native American. They're similar to Native Americans. Mm-hmm. Well, from what I read, but they're indigenous and yeah, it's not a lot. It's like a small tribe of them.
Yeah, because I haven't heard.
And they are primarily in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's where my dad is from.
Is that like a collection of islands or?
It's an island in the West Indies. I think I'm not sure exactly what it's close to. It may be close to Jamaica.
He's got it.
Yeah, maybe close to like Jamaica, I think. I'm not sure because I've never been there. Yeah, my dad, blame it on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been there. But I plan on going there, and yeah, it's crazy.
Eastern Caribbean Sea.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah, I'm half Portuguese, so it's funny.
Wow.
I don't meet a lot of people that,
Right.
at least around here for whatever. You'd think
Yeah.
New York, there's everybody.
A lot of Portuguese. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Newark has a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my dad is from he's from the Azores,
Wow.
so
Okay.
island.
Yeah.
Similar shit.
Yep.
I would assume.
Island. We all act alike.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's much darker than I am. It's funny
Yes.
because people see him and they look at me and I'm like, oh, look at my mom. She's pretty white.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the same thing for my mom. My mom, she's black, so she's dark. But
Yeah.
my dad looks like he's white. And so people are like, and they're like, okay, so all you got was the hair. I said, yeah, that's all I got was the hair. I didn't get the skin tone and the color eyes and all of that.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, well, the hair's nice.
Thank
The
you.
hair's nice, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Trying. I cut it and I be putting wigs on, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the new thing.
Right.
Roughly new, I think.
Yeah,
right?
everything plastic, everything fake. That's the new thing for these girls. I don't know why, but yeah.
And you're doing away with it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing away with it. I mean, I'll do the lashes, I'll do the fake nails, I'll do, the hair. But when it comes to the fake breast, the fake butt, BBL, I'm not doing none of that. I'm just go to the gym, get it off.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's I think that's probably the better way.
Right.
Because you also get something else when you
Yeah.
go to the gym. You get like a kind of a satisfaction from yourself too.
Exactly. You get a satisfaction, you get confidence, and you get, you're proud of yourself because you did it on your own.
Yeah.
And you ain't have to pay for it. It's free. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, at least it's cheaper, right? Gym membership.
Yeah. Cheaper than BBL.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sit in, heels. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is there a place? I mean, I know it's Brazilian, but is there like a place where everyone goes, or is it actually Brazil?
Man, I've seen girls that go, they do some in Atlanta. They have some doctors that do it in California. I'm sure they have some doctors that do that here in New York.
Yeah.
So I just feel sorry for girls that are not confident, that don't like how they look. It's like, go to the gym. This flabby body that you have, it can get smaller. I'm a witness because the size that I am now, I was way smaller than this. And I looked so different, like perfectly fine. So I'm like, y'all can just go to the gym.
Right.
They don't want to do it.
Right. Well, you also seem confident just
Yeah.
in however you are, it seems.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I had to be.
Which is, that's obviously super important. Yeah. Definitely for everybody, but I would assume definitely for women.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And being confident in their own
in their
bodies.
own skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the real thin thing is like,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of fading out a little bit. Not, I
It
know
is.
we're being positive here, but
That's true. Yeah.
that was a propaganda thing to start with anyway. If
That
we're
you
being
have
honest.
to be thin.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from, I was a runway model. And I was a runway model since I was 12 years old. And one of the things that I used to do that they taught me doing runway, even as a kid, was to suck my stomach in. And also, sometimes I would starve myself. Like I said, I was smaller than this. So y'all would have to literally go on the computer and Google me and see all of those old pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And, as I got older, I realized, like, I really used to do that. Even as a plus size runway model, I was like, I really used to suck my stomach in and starve myself. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I can't believe I used to do that, but I did.
Right.
That's just what we were taught. So, and anyone that says that's not true is a lie. Even if you're a plus size runway model, they want you to starve yourself. You could lose weight within 3 days by doing like a water diet or eating like just crackers and juice, So it's a lot.
And you feel healthier now.
I just feel like myself because I've always been a chunky girl up until I got into the modeling and the music. That's when I started to like lose the weight, and I started doing crazy stuff to lose the weight. I did laxatives. I did the prune juice. I did the starving. I did all of that, and I got so small, like so small. And I look at myself now and I'm like, nah, I don't want to go back to that.
Right.
I was literally like, I can be honest on camera, I was 90 pounds lighter in 2016 than I am now.
Right.
So imagine me 90 pounds lighter. Yeah, it's crazy. I got the pictures, so.
Yeah.
It was not healthy. It was very, very, yeah.
I can't imagine it being healthy.
It wasn't. All I did was sleep all day. I didn't have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
My eyes had bags. It was crazy. I went through a lot, but I did it for the industry.
Yes.
To get where I needed to be. So now it's like, okay, you in the industry. Now if you gain a little weight, it's not going to hurt you that bad,
Yeah, you're kind of free to do whatever you want to do.
They already know who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I used to wrestle. Like in college and, not college, sorry. I'm not that good.
No.
in middle school and high school. And even then, there were kids starving themselves, taking laxatives, sitting in a sauna for hours, and then you see them in class and they're just slumped over. They're barely able to practice. It's obviously not a good thing to do, but in the same vein that you're talking about, it's like these guys want to compete at a certain size.
Yep.
So they're willing to do whatever it takes.
And it's like when people tell you that that's the way to get things, done quicker, it makes you want to do it. Like I was told that the laxatives and, I was introduced to all of that. So it just made me do it. And it was just, I'll never do it again. Yeah. I'll never do it again. Like right now I'm on my journey to lose the weight again. So yeah.
But the right way.
Yeah, the right way.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
So you started modeling at 12.
Yeah.
Wow. What got you into that? Was it family? Was it something you wanted to kind of do? Or?
Family.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and living in Flint, Michigan. My mom and my aunts pushed for me to do hair modeling. So I was a hair model. And, of course, it had the runway involved. And if you know about Detroit hair shows, y'all know that it's crazy. You have a lot of pimps there with their girls that are hair models. And I was around that environment, at the age of 12. And I just seen a lot of things. I experienced a lot of things. And I'm not mad at my mom or my aunts or any of them, for putting me in hair modeling, but it was a lot to see, and I was safe, but it was a lot to see, and that made me excited. I wanted the excitement and I wanted the attention from the modeling, but I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid.
To get, what you see backstage.
Right. To get involved in something as, I guess you could say, provocative as modeling. It's like child actors.
Yeah.
Like, what child actor comes out okay?
Right.
They're all, when they get adults.
Traumatized.
Something. You know what's real interesting? The kid from, have you seen The Shining?
No.
The fucking here's Johnny, boom, and it's a horror
Sounds
movie.
so familiar.
Yeah, it's
I bet you I've seen it, but I just can't remember.
yeah, it's the dude gets Jack Nicholson. He gets stuck in like a cabin in the winter, not a cabin, a hotel, and he goes crazy. But anyway, there's a little kid. The kid who goes red rum, red rum. He had he was ruined for the rest of his life.
What?
Because kids don't. When you're a kid, you don't really conceptualize this is acting and this is real life.
Yeah.
You're on a movie set and your parents are fighting. There's your acting mother is screaming.
Yeah.
Your dad is chasing her with a fucking axe. It's like
Right.
that's an early age to do some stuff like that.
That will literally mess your mind up.
Yeah.
It will. And I can see it. I mean, a lot of these kids that look at Orlando Brown. Is that his name? Orlando Brown?
Kid from That's So Raven.
Yeah.
Is that his
my
name?
God. Is that his name?
I think Orlando Brown's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Let's see who he is. But he's a lunatic now, right?
I think that's him. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's him. Or is that like a basketball
Oh
player?
yeah, Orlando.
That
Bloom.
is him.
That's
Orlando
Brown.
Bloom is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, that guy is so screwed up, and I'm like,
Yes.
what did that to him? Like, what the heck? A lot of these people are like really messed up. So
Yeah. It's also like you get so much attention, which is what every kid wants.
exactly.
And then you get a ton of it.
Yep.
And then you get to a certain point, you're not the cute kid that's
Right.
on the camera no more. And now it's like, what do I do?
And you're not making money, and a lot of them, they turn to all kind of stuff. I mean, I wanted to, do acting as a kid. I was doing acting in school, of course, but I didn't get, big leagues like until I got older. I started dabbling and stuff, but yeah, just looking at it on TV, these people are crazy now. They're mentally messed up, and it's very, very sad. Some of them turn to these different lifestyles that they weren't ready for, but they just found it as an alternative. Look at the guy from Empire, the one that played. Didn't he play Hakeem, the youngest son?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen.
Okay, Empire. Brashear Gray. I don't
Okay.
know if you guys know who that is.
I don't know. I've never seen Empire.
Did you see the New Edition story?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm
yeah,
white.
Bashir Gray,
No.
he is out there now. It's crazy. If you Google him, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's just messed up. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
you could argue that because you know what it is? A lot of parents live through their kids.
yes.
And they let it go so crazy
Yep.
to where it's like, I always wanted to be on TV.
Yep.
My kid's cute. Let's,
Yep.
And they do that with everything. It doesn't necessarily need to be TV.
That's crazy.
But when it is TV, it's, it's a scary thing. Or the
Yeah.
public eye in any facet.
That's true. Yep. And your kid is living out the dreams that you always wanted to do. But times are different now than they were when you were younger.
Right.
So you're putting your kid through hell, and they don't realize it.
Right. It's like that same thing where, I think it's, what was his name? Pistol Pete, the basketball player. His dad was like a really good player and a coach, but he like forced his son. And his son got really, really good and famous and whatever, but,
Yep. Screwed his life up.
yeah, him and I would say having a relationship with your parents
Yeah.
is probably more important.
Yeah. That's
Having a
true.
good one.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also letting your kid choose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, let them try a bunch of things. If they really like it, then...
And see which one fits them.
Yeah.
Like I said, modeling was like forced on me. Music was forced on me. And I'm not saying forced in a bad way, but it's just like that was the environment I was around.
Right.
So my parents and stuff and my family was just like, all right, do this, try it. So
So you have family that do music or anything like that, any creative stuff or...
let me see. I mean, because we were all raised in the church. So
Okay.
in the church, my grandfather was a pastor. So my brother was a musician. My aunt, she was a musician. I was a musician. You also had my uncle. He was also a musician. So it was like everyone in my family like played or either sang or played instruments.
Right.
So it started in the church. I don't think anybody in my family has ever made it like big besides, and I'm not like big. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an A-list, celebrity, but I did have my share of the industry on a pretty high level.
Yeah.
So I'm like the only one that actually got out there that's still climbing, still trying to do stuff. And so yeah, we did stuff through the church, but yeah, when I decided to do my own thing, that's when I ran into some serious craziness and some scares. So yeah,
I believe
this is
that.
not church no more. This is outside of church, and
Right.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I believe, but I think that matters though. The
it
fact that
does.
you had some people that were musicians in your family,
Right.
and I think that does have an influence.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
Because as someone who, I'm doing the comedy thing and the podcast and whatever, but I have a cousin that sings really well. She's kind of big in Canada.
Wow.
No, but she's really the only one. Everyone else in my family, just regular working class people.
Yeah.
So I can imagine when you have people who are in that world, whatever level it is, it's probably a little more encouraging.
Yeah, it is.
Like they're kind of a little more behind you. They understand somewhat of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes you want to just go further. So.
Yeah. It's nice. I'm sure, but it's also the other side of it where it's like nobody in my family does this. I'm gonna
Right.
fucking
Yeah, like I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where it's at.
Yeah. So did you stop modeling and then go into music, or was there like a crossover?
Yeah, I definitely I got out of runway because I got tired of it. First of all, runway is very hard. You're naked. You have to be comfortable being naked around anybody. And the photographer, the people over the show, you have to be comfortable back behind scenes being naked. Imagine you're 400 pounds, but you have to get naked because this is your job and you want to get paid, or you want to be walking in other shows. So I got tired of it. And then also, my sciatic nerve in one of my legs, I slept weird one night and my sciatic nerve got messed up. So I started walking a little bit weird. And so I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of this. Yeah. After all those years of doing runway and, college and all that, I was like, I'm getting out of this. So then I turned to music. And when I turned to music, everything just took off for me.
Yeah, it was the right move.
And I also, when I was in college, I took acting courses. And then I always wanted to be an actress as well. I applied and auditioned for so many movies and stuff when I lived in Houston, Texas. Because I went from Michigan to Houston, Texas. But even then in Houston, nothing was panning out for me except for music. Music was so dominant. It just always has been.
Especially in Houston.
Yes.
Yeah. The first name I think of is Scarface.
Right.
When I think I'm sure there's more that are
right.
slipping
Slim
my
Thug.
mind.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Beyonce.
Oh, how could I forget?
Yeah, that's Megan Thee Stallion. That's all Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a poppin' area for hip hop and the whole thing. Is that what you moved there for music, or did you move there for a different reason?
So my mom, she actually moved me there.
Okay.
So when I moved there, I continued to do modeling, and I actually perfected the modeling because then I was able to model a little bit for Ashley Stewart's, which is a big brand. I was able to model for some other big names and even small names in different runway shows in different parts of Houston. And these people were flying out from other parts of the world too, doing shows in Houston, and I was walking for them. So I was really, really doing my thing. I was really popular. And so I did that, and then I, like I said, migrated over to the music while I was in Houston. And I went on tour, opened up one time for the Women's National Football League in Louisiana. Yeah, I did a lot. It was really fun. I still do a lot, but yeah, it was fun in Houston.
The Women's National Football League.
Yes.
That exists.
Yes, there's actually there is actually a real women's national football league.
Really?
And it's just now beginning to get popular. A lot of people don't know about it. And I just got booked by this promoter that I did some comedy skits with, and he booked me and I went there and performed and they loved it.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, it was really crazy. It was in Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's the
I'm
place.
burping while I'm talking.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Excuse me.
There's been dirtier things that have happened on this episode,
Oh,
on this show.
God.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, the women's national football. So do they? I mean, it's like normal football, or
Yeah, from
Yeah?
what I saw, it was normal football.
Yeah.
And apparently they have various teams like in different states.
wow.
So
What the fuck, dude? I didn't know anything about it. Did you know about this?
Exactly. You know, I was like tripping out
There's a
because I
couple
was
football,
like,
women football leagues.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I have never heard of this before. When he booked me, I was like, I've never heard of this. I was like, I've never seen this. Like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like, literally. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's real.
Because as a little kid, when people were a little less tolerant in the olden days, all they would have was like that weird lingerie
Right.
football, which
Yeah.
is, obviously you take or leave that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that there's a full league that's like, women playing football.
I tried to play football.
Did you?
When I was like, I think I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, I sprained my ankle.
I believe that.
And I was on crutches. No, you know what? I'm lying. I was not, was I 12? I think I was 12. I was 12. My mom was so mad because I sprained my ankle. I was on crutches in school and
Yeah.
everything. It was so embarrassing. I was like, never again. I was such a tomboy. So.
Yeah. I feel that. I remember because I played football when I was a little kid, and we played a team that had a girl.
Wow.
They were on the other team, and everybody was like, "What? Like, don't hit her because we're gonna get flags on every play," which was true at the time.
But that's not fair.
It's not fair. I know. But we were
Wow.
like, it was weird. Even our coaches were like, be cautious of her.
Yeah.
And we lost. We fucking lost that game. Bullshit.
See, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like women and men should not cross into
Right.
the same. Because, women, no matter how tough we are, we can't handle men. We can't handle things like men.
Yes.
And I don't care what anyone says. Like, even nowadays when we have, the trans,
Right.
gender athletes, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I 100% love and support LGBTQ, but I feel that we shouldn't mix, because if something happens and someone gets hurt, then what?
Exactly.
Then what? Now
Yeah.
now you're looking at lawsuits, you're looking at, so, but
It's-
I mean, I don't know.
Especially in a contact sport.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
true. Mm-hmm.
I agree pretty much across the board with you, but more so in a contact sport.
Right.
Like all these talks of like Clarissa Shields boxing
Yeah.
a man, it's like,
No.
it's not a good idea.
It's not. And
Yeah.
they try to make it seem like, oh, you're so what do they say? You're rude, or you're
Close-minded.
Yeah, close-minded. I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm talking about safety.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what if a man is playing women's football and tackles a woman and gives her a concussion?
Which he will.
Yeah,
by the way.
like, it's because he's a man. He's
Yeah.
so strong. He's
Yeah.
not supposed to be tackling a woman.
Right.
So, but they don't want to hear that. They think that it's literally you're against. No, nobody's against nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's also on the flip side when there's men that compete against women.
Yes.
And they're like, because they sucked as a guy
Yeah.
in their sport. So they're like, well, I'll just become a woman now
Yeah.
and compete against women and smoke them all. It's like, that's bullshit too.
right. It's
You know?
not right.
Yeah.
So,
You ever see I think it was Serena Williams. She was talking about it on one of those late night shows. This was a while ago.
wow.
Years ago, and she was like, yeah, if I played against the best, who's the best, Nadal or whatever in tennis, she's like, he'd have to take it. Like, I play with him sometimes, but he takes it very easy on me.
Wow.
Like it's, and she's the greatest, maybe female athlete across the
Right.
board ever. And even she's like, yeah, if I played against him, it's like night and day. I would get smoked if he went
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't think about that, and yeah, the world is just really weird right now.
Yes, yeah, and it gets weirder every day.
It does. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. However, I don't think that it should be a concern of a government to get involved
True.
on a federal scale.
Yeah.
Like when you think about the problems that a federal government should be worrying about, trans athletes is probably kind of low.
Right.
You know?
Like not even that important. Yeah.
Right.
Because
You know?
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like the ban against that federally is like, what? Why are we even? That should
why
be
are
like
we even talking about it?
it should be a community based
Right.
thing.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So you moved down to Houston. The
Yeah.
music's starting to pop off.
Yep.
Are you now? You're getting involved in kind of bigger scenes than you would have if you had stayed back home.
In Michigan, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, and I mean, even in Michigan, I think I would have did well because if you notice, we have a lot of artists that have came out of Michigan. Cash Doll, Big Sean, Dej Loaf. You know, we have a lot of big names that came out of Michigan, even
Eminem.
though it was Detroit.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
Sorry, I'm from Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan all day long.
Okay.
We can't stand Detroit, but
Is that true?
Yes.
That's a thing?
Flint cannot, we can't stand Detroit. Detroit can't stand us.
Okay.
No, but I love my Detroit people. But yeah, so a lot of these artists came out of Detroit. So I think I still would have done well in Michigan. But, you know, unfortunately, my mom moved me to Houston. And, you know, moving to Houston, that's when I grew into adulthood and I continued to do my own thing. And next thing you know, I landed here in New York.
Yeah.
Picked up everything. Came to New York by myself, no family here, no nothing. Just picked up everything and moved to New York. And I said, I'm going to take all of my talent to New York and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what brings a lot of people here.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a big move to go ahead and
The
just
struggle is real in New York.
Yeah.
It is real. Whew, you have to really be a strong, dedicated person to live here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's coming. I mean, you live, we won't say exactly, but not very much in the city area.
Right. I live
Right.
in, so it's a little bit more, it's slightly a little bit more expensive.
Yes.
Where I live at, but it depends because in the city, certain places are even more expensive than where I live.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I came here, and here is where I found so much success with acting.
Really?
So many directors, even listen, I've gotten casted for multiple roles in different films, and last year things started happening to where these projects just weren't taking off, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm getting casted. I'm signing documents, but the project is not taking off. They're being pushed back, or either I'm like, all right, let me keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me do acting, let me do modeling, let me also do music at the same time while I'm here. And I started doing it, and that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years.
And is this the first time you've kind of done everything all together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you have to do that here. You have to literally mingle every talent you have to use. Even with me, I'm an artist. I paint paintings, and I also design clothes. So I do that here as well. Because I'm like, you have to do everything. So New York is it just allows me to just open up all of my talents and just be so free and so just happy and everything here. But the struggle is real. You have to really compete against so many people. You have to try to be the best, and you have to also be respectful.
Yes.
You have to be respectful. I seen somebody get disrespectful with a director, and it was over.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Because they got 30 other people waiting for the spot you got.
They got 30 other ones of you.
Yeah.
Yep. Look better than you. Sound better than you. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Well, I think that's good for anybody that's doing anything creative or artistic, is to kind of have a bunch of different outlets.
Right.
Because you can go from one project, you're like, okay, I did a modeling gig this week, or let's say you've been on a kick. I did 4 of them last month or something.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, I've kind of expended that energy there. Now we can kind of go do some music, and then we're doing the music, middle of the music. Now we get an acting part.
Yep.
I think it's all a very, very good thing to do.
Exactly.
And I think they help each other.
They do.
That's the other part.
Yes. Not to expose, but this role that I just got, I'm actually singing, and it's a 1920s film.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm so excited because I feel like when you if you're an actor and you can get casted for a film from like that far back, the 1900s, I promise you are very talented because
Sure.
it's hard to do those roles. The 1920s, a black person,
Right,
I was
right.
like, oh my God. But listen, I'm like really excited, but I actually get to sing an old song.
Yeah.
You know those old blues songs
Of
and
course.
stuff. So I was like, I'm really excited about that. And the music helped. The music helped me to get my part in that movie.
Right. Because they know that you can sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can barrel out that, deep, passionate voice. So, yeah.
Interesting. 1920s. Mm-hmm. Wow. I do love watching, like, what would you call them? Period pieces.
Yeah.
Where it takes place in a, completely different time.
Exactly.
Because you get to see, you get some kind of an insight.
Yeah.
Because when there's a big production like that and there's a lot of money involved, like for whatever reason, I'm thinking of, have you ever watched Boardwalk Empire?
Boardwalk Empire. That sounds familiar.
It's
Listen, so many things you naming that that's how
Hey,
you
you
know
named
I watch
Empire.
too much television.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about Empire, so hey,
True.
we're learning here.
Yeah, right.
No, it came out like a little bit after The Sopranos. It's like the same vein, like gangsters, but it was the 20s. So it's you get to see how people lived in those days. You know, it's wild.
I would have loved to have been on Color Purple. Like, those type of movies that are like back like those days, I love them. I love them. And I feel like as an actor, if you are like a serious actor and you really, really want this, those type of movies allow you to really shine. Because you're showing so much pain, emotion. You're showing just how, crazy it was back then. Like, and you're limited to resources. They didn't have anything hardly.
Right.
So you're able to show people like everything, like how you would have survived back then.
And it's a test.
Yeah.
It's a real test for yourself because
Yeah, it is.
It's like when a straight person plays a gay person in a movie.
Right.
It's like can they even pull it off?
I don't know if I will be. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, like, my mom.
You can say it's a stretch. You can say
God, please bless my mama.
Yeah.
This woman gets on my nerves. Like every time I'm telling her, Mama, I got to audition. If it's anything that's gay,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Don't take that. I said, Mama, it's just acting. I'm like, I'm not gonna be doing anything on the girl. I said, if anything, it's like a kiss or something. I said, you don't have to take those roles.
Right.
I said, oh my God, I can't do anything. Like she don't want me to do that. She don't want me to play a prostitute.
Yeah.
She don't want me to play a loose woman. I said, well, what all I'm supposed to do? What I need to be, the dog, the cat? Like it's so crazy. And I try to just tell her to be open-minded. I'm like, I'm an adult. So me taking on these roles are for my career and my survival.
Right.
So I'm like, be open-minded if you see me take on a role that you don't feel comfortable with. Like I'm not turning to the other side. It's just acting.
It's part of the gig.
Yeah, she's a 60s baby. So, she's older, so she doesn't understand it, but I try to just get her to just calm down and,
Right.
work with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, to prepare for something like that, do you listen to music from that time? Do you try to watch, like you said, limited resources? You try to take in stuff from that era?
Yes, I've been this lady's song, I've been studying it like every day because she I'm not playing her character. The character in the movie is singing her song.
Okay.
But I was like, I gotta sing the song like she would sing it. You get it? Like,
right.
That's what makes sense is how the original artist was singing. And so I've been just studying this lady's song. And back then, even with the accent, I'm like, I don't have that country accent like that much, but you have to study it. And I'm still studying, trying to remember the words and trying to make myself get that. Because, with us, we put a little bit more jazz into it. But back then, they were just strictly just, and I'm like, ew, but okay, yeah. I'll do it,
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's even listening to stuff like that, whether you're preparing for a role or not, it's it's very interesting because you get, now when it's real, you get a legitimate insight.
Yes.
Like when you listen to like Billie Holiday or you know, I love Big Mama Thornton. Like she's, without her, there's no Elvis.
Yes, that's true.
Without a lot of black people, there's no Elvis.
Yes,
we can be
that's
honest.
true.
But
Elvis was amazing.
yes, yeah, of course, yeah, and that's the thing. I don't love the slander that he gets.
Yeah.
You know, because it was the thing that influenced him. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, it's like nobody's mad at Eminem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's.
People are so dumb. If you really paid attention to Elvis, he was soul. He was a soulful artist.
Right.
I don't care what anyone says. He was a soulful artist. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of his background singers and everything were black.
Sure.
They were black. He was with black people all the time. So people just, everyone just wants something to talk about, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I defend a lot of people because I'm like, stop it. Don't even try to put that on these people.
Right.
Yeah, so.
That's like, that's what he, that's what he likes. You're going to stop him from doing that?
Right. That's how he made money. That's what made him have fans.
Yeah.
So leave him alone.
And, I mean, the craziest, he's like the original rock star.
He is.
You know?
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis helped to get a Michael Jackson, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, people, like I tell people, when it comes to music and when it comes to sports, you can't put a color on it. You can't put a race on it.
Right.
Like, literally, you can't, because back then in the 20s and 30s and 40s and all of that stuff, it was mixed. Everyone was doing it. Whether it was white, black, whatever, everyone was doing their own thing with music. You had white people that were singing blues as well.
Right.
You had black people that were singing opera. I'm like, you can't put a color on anything. One of the things that gets me, not to get off topic, is this whole Beyonce country thing. This is driving me insane.
Okay.
I'm going to give my opinion. I don't care what anyone says.
Let's hear it.
I do not feel that Beyonce is a country artist.
Yep.
But I feel that Beyonce chose to try country, and I feel like she perfected it and added a twist to it. And a lot of people don't get that. I'm like, as an artist, you can be multi-genre.
Right.
I've done pop songs before because I'm a writer as well. I write music. So I've written and performed pop songs, but I am not a pop artist.
Sure.
I'm not. I wrote one country song, but I am not a country artist. So therefore, I may do one or two, but that is not my genre. And I tell people, stop calling Beyonce a country artist. She's not a country artist. She's an artist that is multi-genre.
Right.
Period. That eliminates anybody trying to say she's trying to steal the country genre and this and that. But a lot of people don't see it that way.
Sure.
They just see it as, now she's a country artist. No, she's just a multi-genre artist. She just tried this genre.
Sure.
I hope she doesn't think she's a country artist.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm just, and I'm being honest, because I have to be honest, because I'm an artist and I've been doing this for years. Since I was 3 years old, I wrote my first song.
Right.
So I'm like, you're not a country artist. That's not country music to me. When I think of country, I'm thinking of Celine Dion, which is well, I think I'm tweaking right there. I'm a little bit of country, but let me see. Garth Brooks.
There you go.
Shania Twain.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking about when
country.
I'm thinking about country. Those are my people. Like,
Right.
that's who I get down with, so
Right.
that's country. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Yeah.
that. Plus, country music is like, to get like authentic country music is kind of rare. Nowadays, at least.
Exactly.
It's kind of merged with the pop.
We need some more Dolly.
Yes.
We need some more Dolly.
Please.
Like, her and Miley Cyrus,
I love
their
it.
cousins, they need to team up and do a song.
Yes.
I'm like, when are we getting this collab? Like, this is what we need right now.
Right. Yeah.
Can we write them or something? Like, can we reach out on Instagram, Twitter?
Wait, is Dolly still alive? I thought I heard somewhere that I might be bugging now. I might be bugging now too.
What? If she did pass, I didn't
No,
hear it.
she's still alive. She's got to be.
I think her
She
husband
is.
died.
Okay.
Was it her husband?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I thought someone passed away that was close to her recently. Or am I tripping? Is that somebody else?
Yo, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, what do we got?
Husband died on a couple weeks ago, March 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Who is that?
Her husband.
Carl Dean.
Right.
Carl Dean.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what happened. Her husband just died.
Gotcha.
Because I saw that and I was like, wow. And that's when we started finding out that
Married
her and
since
Miley
66. Wow.
Ooh.
Wait, what happened?
She's been married to him since 66.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Together a long time.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Yeah.
That is really sad.
No.
Dang.
But it's also beautiful. They were together forever, you know.
Yeah, that's
nice.
forever.
Yeah.
Whew, I don't know. Man, when I be thinking about marriage, I'm like, ooh, forever with that same person. I mean,
sure.
But it is what it is, you know. Find your person. Yeah.
What's even scarier than that is kids.
Yeah.
Kids terrify me. Mm-hmm. Like, not only just having my own, but just them and being around.
Listen, I'm trying to hold off as long as I can.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I look at my life and I'm like, I want to do so much. And I'm like, I don't want to neglect my child because I know I'm going to. Like, I'm not done building my career. I'm like, I'm not going to build it forever. But I'm like, right now, I'm just not done building my career. I'm like, I know I'm going to get that big break very soon. You know, when you feel it in your bones, that's how you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, kids need to hold off a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are having kids older now.
They are.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not as weird like back in the day you hear, you know, your parents or whatever.
Yeah.
They get married at 23.
Because they kept teaching that you need to have a kid before this age and get married before that age, this and that. Nowadays, you have people that literally are having kids together and not getting married. Cristiano, is that his name?
Cristiano Ronaldo?
Did y'all see that interview?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna call her the baby mama, the mother of his children, his girlfriend, whatever she is to him. She even got on there and explained, you know, that she's okay with this, you know, that one day he's gonna marry her. Yeah, one day. Yeah. We're waiting. But, you know, and I mean, that's what people are accepting nowadays. I'm not going to accept that, but people are accepting that. And that's like the new norm. Mm-hmm. It's just have kids and never get married. My brother's doing it right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has 3 kids with this girl. They live together, everything. And he told her and he told the whole family, I'm never going to marry her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's like if we're being honest, a marriage is like a business decision.
It is.
You know, like if this don't work out, I'm gonna get some.
Right.
You know, like that's like a tax.
Yeah.
Same thing with a kid. It's like a tax, a tax thing.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean when you have a kid, you have to change.
You do.
If you don't, it's more scary the people that have kids and they don't change. You know, like you need now. It's not about you. It's not even about us anymore. Now it's about this gremlin that we made.
What bothers me is all of these celebrities that have kids.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they have kids and now they no longer want to be with their spouse. Or they had the kids and the spouse before they got famous. And then now that they're famous, they want to end everything. I'm like, what are you teaching your fans? Right. What are you teaching this younger generation?
Right.
Like, that's not how it should be. I'm like, how do you get famous? How do I get famous and then don't want to be with my person no more? Aren't we supposed to reap the benefits together?
You would hope so, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But that's what they say, right? Fame it apparently changes people.
Yep, it does. It can break you.
Yeah. Do you think that famous people or artists that people know, do you think that they have some kind of a moral obligation to lead a certain life or lead a certain message? Or are you like, separate the art from the artist? This person is problematic, but they make really good stuff. Or do you think something else that I didn't name?
I mean, honestly, I do think that you have to lead a certain life. Like no matter what level you're on.
Right.
especially for a recording artist. When it comes to recording artists, that's a whole entire world by itself, aside from actor and this and that. That's a lot. But yeah, you have to lead a certain lifestyle. A lot of people just really don't care. And they're able to get away with it. They're able to live their life the way they want to live it and not have to worry about what people think or what they say or what they feel. But I do feel like you have to. With me, in respect of trying to date, I had to do some nudity, some provocative pictures, some everything to sell. Sex sells. And I go into relationships and tell men, like, I need you to understand that I'm only doing this for the industry. It's not that I'm going to disrespect myself totally and disrespect you. I'm not turning into Sexy Red.
Sure.
But, I'm like, I'm doing certain things and I need it to be a mutual understanding that I will never disrespect you. And if it gets too out of hand, pull my coattail and tell me.
Right.
Some of these artists don't care. They don't care. And that's what it causes issues. But yeah, I think you do have to lead us, have a certain image, betray, yourself as a certain person, even if that's not really you.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the difference between actors and recording artists, because nowadays through social media we have access to everybody all the time, as much as they want and as much as we want, really.
Yep.
But when you think of actors, like the biggest actors, whoever they are, they don't really have a huge presence on social media.
They don't. Have you noticed that?
Right.
That is so weird. It's like, I guess they're so booked and busy.
Yeah.
Or they're private.
Yeah, exactly. They probably figure it's like, I'm doing, like, when I think of, like, I'm thinking of like DiCaprio. You go on his Instagram, it's all stuff like about environment, because he's like a big advocate for the environment or whatever. That's all it is. It's not him like, hey, I'm at fucking, this place and we're doing this. It's none of that stuff. And I wonder if it's because they to get to that level, you have to give so much of yourself to the art of acting and to the movies and to the shows and whatever else, that it's like all this other stuff is kind of unnecessary. I wonder.
I agree with you, but I also think that it is timing. I think that back then when DiCaprio and Angela Bassett and all, and who's the other guy? What's this famous guy? Oh my God,
Pacino, De Niro,
right? Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Also, what's this other guy? He played Frank Lucas.
Denzel
Washington.
There we go.
Back then, when
famous.
these people were breaking into the industry, it was easier to become an actor. They didn't have to get online and,
Right.
well, did they even have online?
Not the way we do it.
The way they got social media, they didn't have social media the way that we have it now, and it wasn't utilized like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, they didn't have to do a lot to become, popular or to sell and to constantly get booked. But nowadays, these new actors, new artists, everything, you have to literally utilize social media in order to build your presence, in order for the directors to even want to book you.
Right.
I mean, look, Tyler Perry, don't get me wrong, he's an awesome director, awesome producer, awesome everything. But I look at a lot of the people that he utilizes, and a lot of these people have been building their base online.
Right.
They did. For example, this last project that he just did, Beauty in Black, one of the girls that was on there, she played Body. And I can't remember this girl's name, but she was on one of these reality shows. Like, she had built her name on one of these reality shows. And I was like, wow. So she went from there. So she already had fame.
Right.
She was, and she was one of the popular girls too in the reality show. So I was like, she already did that. So it was easy for him to pick her up because she had a base. But flip to someone like me who really doesn't have a lot of people. How do I get to you? Do I have to go to the audition and work even harder?
Right. Right.
Like what does it come with? What do I have to do?
Right. Yeah. That's the same thing in stand-up, where it's like people get booked not necessarily because they're funny, but they got 500,000 on Instagram.
Right.
They can sell tickets.
And you can also buy 500,000 followers.
Right. That's the other thing.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, but that is part of it, where it's like, this guy's big on TikTok. He's headlining at this, but that shit don't last.
And
you
you've
know?
never heard this man do any type of stand-up comedy. So
Right.
you get there and you're like, wow, this is what I booked.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I feel like in the time we were mentioning before with the Denzels and the De Niros, it was a little bit more concentrated of an industry.
Yep.
Like it was there were only so many outlets.
Yep.
So only the best rise up. Where now there's a billion outlets. You can do anything. I mean, if you just did like a skit series on Instagram that enough people saw, now you're on a national commercial. Now you're on a fucking Netflix. Like, look at Drewski.
Right.
Drewski's got not a fan.
Excuse me. No. I like him as a comedian, but some of the stuff that I've seen him do online, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, he's a wild boy.
Yeah. Yes, he is crazy.
But that's a perfect case because I remember first seeing him just doing social media stuff.
Right.
Now he's got shows on Netflix and he's on all the biggest comedian podcasts and he's got shows at theaters. I don't even know what he does at the theater shows. Like I don't even know what happens.
Does he do stand up or?
I don't think he does. I don't think he does stand up. I think he just does some entertainment something. I don't know what it is.
That's crazy.
But now it's like you're almost forced to be entertained. Where in those days it was like, wow, a new movie's out and everybody goes to the theater and it's out for 2 months and everybody's talking about it. There's so many movies and shows and I mean you could never keep up.
I be looking at this stuff on Tubi and I'm looking at all of these reality TV actors. Because I was on a few reality TV shows.
Really?
It's all acting.
That's
this
what I've
stuff
heard.
is so scripted. Don't let these people tell you it's real. It's not. It is scripted. And I'm looking at these reality people that are trying to be actors and I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? You're not even saying the line on cue. You're not even believable.
Right.
And someone just threw you in a movie. But what?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not hating, but I'm like, you have to differentiate people who are serious about this craft, who have been wanting this for a long time, as opposed to people who just get thrown into it because they were popular on TV or on social media. And a lot of these people that just get thrown into it, they don't last.
Right.
They don't. No one is paying attention. Everyone's looking like, what the heck? This is not good. This is horrible acting. They said that about Young Miami, Carisha. When she was acting, everyone criticized this girl so bad.
Right.
And I even heard Beyonce say one time that she will never act again. I think I saw it online where she said she doesn't want to act anymore because of what she went through on set or something like that. So you have to really, really know how to act and want it.
Yeah. Yeah, those reality shows, it's like, it's what you're saying, it's scripted, but it's also a lot of editing. The way they edit it.
Right.
Like, Jersey Shore changed the game for everybody.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't watch it when it was popping.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, because I think I was in middle school when it was really popping off. And I didn't like it. And the first time I ever watched it, this was a few years ago, I was on mushrooms.
Wow. Oh, shoot.
Which is not a good way to watch that show. And I was like, damn, because I remember finishing it and I'm like, I think I'm dumber. I feel dumber after watching this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jersey Shore was crazy.
Yeah.
Jersey Shore, College Hill, Love and Hip Hop, like all that type of stuff. I was like, oh my God. It was crazy.
What was the one? Was Love and Hip Hop with Flavor Flav?
Oh,
or he had his own.
Is it for the love?
He had Flavor of Love.
Yeah, Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
to I actually did a reality show with a few of the cast members from his show.
Yeah.
And none of the reality shows I ever did went past YouTube. It was crazy. But I did get paid for them. And I did have to stay in a house. And in one of the reality shows, I stayed in a house for almost 2 months. And I was, listen, never again will I ever do that again.
I believe that.
Oh my God. Never again. You're sitting in a house with strangers. But I got to do that with some of those reality stars. And it was fun. It was fun to learn how it really goes. And they were acting like drill sergeants. Like we had to be quiet at certain times and yelled at and everything. It was crazy.
I think that's a good thing though. Early on, is to scope out the landscape of everything that you can get involved in. You know, like if you get the opportunity to be on a reality show, fuck it.
Right.
You know, but and then you realize, okay, this sucks. I don't ever want to do this again. But
Yeah.
at least you got to see it,
Right.
and see the mechanism and the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the worst ones though, as far as reality shows, are the celebrity rehab.
Really? Oh, you know what? Yes. That really, to me, I feel like that hurts people.
Yes, huge. Imagine you are addicted to whatever you're addicted to.
Yep.
And now you're on TV.
Yep.
You're dealing with it on TV? That's nuts. What a crazy move. Like, my favorite rapper of all time is DMX. And he was on, what was it called? Iyanla's? She used to have her own one.
Yeah, Ayana.
Fix My Life or something like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is so sad.
They don't understand. Some people think it's okay because they're famous. They don't realize you are exposing your life to everyone all over the world. You're exposing your life. And when you get off of TV, you got to go on social media and see all of these comments and to make you feel like crap.
Right.
That is horrible.
Right.
It's horrible.
And you're such in a vulnerable state when you're going through something like that.
Yeah.
It's like to put it on TV just doesn't, I don't know. It's nothing that excites me. It's nothing like, oh, I'm going to tune in and watch this. I think, this is what I think about reality TV and why it was created, so that everyday people can look at those people and be like, thank God I'm not them.
Right.
You know?
I feel that it's a place for people who failed as an actor or who wanted to always be an actor that actually don't know how to act can actually have their platform.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a money thing.
Yep.
That's the other thing. I'm sure when DMX did that, he wasn't rolling in money. Probably needed to get paid, needed a paycheck. You know, it's
but
fucked.
I also feel like they were trying to help them too. I
Yeah,
feel
maybe.
like it.
Yeah.
But to put it online,
Right.
because I know when the Braxtons are a very, very well respected family. Toni Braxton, her family, and when they were on there, oh my God, I felt so bad for the mom because she was really embarrassed by the way that Tamar was acting, which is her youngest daughter. She was a little embarrassed by the way she was acting, but of course we know that Tamar is just like that. She's just very outgoing, and I didn't feel like she was being disrespectful, but of course her mama got after her. But I was thinking like, dang. You know, this is something that can really embarrass people's family and make people look at them in a different light.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's a crazy thing. And I also think it's kind of a little bit going away.
Yeah.
A little bit because of how real everyone can get on social media. Like, think about all the I think these are hilarious. You got like an old family member.
Yeah.
And you videotaping them and they're doing, whatever. No, I mean the good ones when they're funny.
It's so
when they're
many
funny.
of them though.
Yeah,
now
there's a lot of them.
I'm like, why are you doing this?
It's its own genre now.
It is.
Yeah. But sometimes I'm on the phone with my grandmother and I'm like, man, we could make some money.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My parents, I'm like, I know I can make some money with y'all.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
come to Houston, just put a camera right there.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So you're out here. You've been here 3 years.
Yep. It'll be 3 years in September if I stay here. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you thinking?
I mean, I miss Texas, you know, but like I said, my mind is on the grind.
Sure.
So I know that I have to do what I have to do.
Right.
At least till I'm tired, and I'm not tired yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's also when you go back to wherever you're from, and I know this is true for stand up. Like if I go back, I'm from Rhode Island.
Wow.
If I go back there, and they all know that I'm doing stand up in New York, you get opportunities now.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like if you spend some time in a New York or an LA or wherever it is, they're like, oh, okay.
Right, and especially if they see you doing stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you have a favorite of the things that you do, or you like them all roughly?
Music is definitely my favorite thing to do, but I can honestly say that I'm finding out that acting is my niche. And I knew that when I was in middle school, high school, and college, every single one of my teachers and professors, they told me, this is your thing. This is for you. And I ran from it. I was like, I don't want to act. Until I got older and was like, this is what I need to do. I'm like, wow, I know how to do lines. Wow, I have the emotions. Wow, people like me. Wow. I'm like, this is what I want. Acting is amazing. And then I'm like, I can do this until I'm old.
Exactly.
Like,
right?
wow, I can do this until I'm old and crusty. So I was like, yeah, this is for me. Music as well. Music, you know, you can do as a singer, you can do for a while. Now, a rapper, y'all need to sit down somewhere. When you get to a certain age, like,
right.
sit down. But singing, because I know how to sing and rap and write.
Sure.
So I was like, I can do that too. But yeah, acting, I'm telling you, I'm starting to realize like this is my thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take this more serious and really try to get out there like to the highest level.
Right. Yeah. Acting is like golf for people who want to stay active for a long time. You can play golf forever.
Right.
It sounds like the same thing.
You can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Acting to me is like, I wish I could be good at it. It's the same thing with music. Like I fuck around. I play the guitar a little bit, but I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
You're lucky.
I'm a novice forever. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And I also think it's good to have things that you just do, where it's like I don't necessarily need to succeed.
Right.
You know, I just do it because it's something that I enjoy or fuck
Right.
around with or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
There's
Some people I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Some people they're not satisfied, and that's one of the biggest problems with people. You know, like for me, I had to understand, Astasia, you are an independent artist. I actually had a major label offering me a distribution deal, and it got messed up because I tried to include my people.
Got you.
They messed it up for me. I had a deadline to get a project done. My people dragged their feet, didn't get my project done, so they didn't want to work with me. They didn't want to sign me. They didn't want to give me a distribution deal.
Right.
I had to walk away from that. Then I had another big label executives to look at me and, you know, talk to me, and that didn't pan out. And so I told myself, I said, you know what, Astasia, you're an independent artist. It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay. You can do these little shows. You can do, you know, local tours, you know, make money off that and this and that. You know, that's what you've been doing. And I had to accept that, you know, but some people, they literally like give up because they're like, I want to be like Sexy Red. I want to be Beyonce. That's probably not for you, or it's probably not for you right now. Except being indie, you know, except being like just a small actor, you know, except doing like B-roll or you know, like little whatever, and let it grow.
Right.
But some people give up. They give up.
Yeah, it's not happening fast enough, or whatever the case is.
Or they look at their age, they're getting older,
right,
and they feel like, oh, I can't do this. Listen, once I realized that I can be an actor until I'm 80, 50, 112 years old, I said, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going forever. Once I realized that music, you can write forever, you can sing forever, I was like, I'm going to keep going. You know, just do it. Whatever's going to make you money, do that. Because one day you want to be able to make that your source of income.
Yes.
Without having to work a regular job. So keep doing it.
Right.
I just wish I could just reach out to everyone and tell them that. Because I be like, why are y'all giving up? I know girls just giving up and they just go and have babies. Why didn't you just wait a few more years? You would have blew up. Then you could have had a child. You know, now they don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, some people lose the vision. They lose the stamina or the drive or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, I think my biggest gauge for anything that I do is as long as I still think it's cool.
Yeah.
As long as I still like doing it, it makes me feel good to do. And if you go by that gauge,
exactly,
you probably won't ever stop.
Right.
You know, hopefully that's the idea. Like the day that you're like, fuck, I can't stand acting anymore. Fuck this. Then you should probably stop.
Exactly.
You know?
That's how I was with modeling.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, nope, I'll do print.
Yeah.
Photographer asked me to do a photo shoot, of course. But you asked me to runway, you're probably not going to get me.
Yeah.
No, I just, unless it's somebody big.
Right. Then you sign the contract.
Yeah. Right. Let Sports Illustrated say, I'm about to get in the gym.
Yeah.
And get my body all the way tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
That's the other commitment that people don't mention as much when they talk about acting is the body the change.
Yes.
Because some people, like you look at Christian Bale, and he was in that movie The Machinist, and he's like 90 pounds.
Yeah.
You see his organs almost.
God.
And then there's another movie where he's a big fat guy.
Exactly.
Where it's like, this guy's, really...
That's dangerous.
That's dangerous, of course.
It is.
But it's that commitment to that role. It's
Right.
like, this motherfucker,
Yeah.
what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker.
Oh my God.
He was
yeah.
a rail,
That's crazy.
And apparently all he did was just smoke cigarettes. He'd eat like an apple.
Oh my God.
The whole day, and that was it.
But see, also when that is your source of income and you can sit home comfortably
Right.
and not have to work a regular job, you're good doing that. And that you're able to go to the gym and starve yourself, and because all your mind is on is that,
Yeah,
So I tell people, like, how bad do you want the dream?
sure.
What are you willing to do? That's why I tell myself, how bad do you want the dream?
Mm-hmm.
Every day I tell myself, how bad do you want the dream?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's also like, you're never too old to do something
You're not.
new, I mean, certain things. I'm not gonna get on a gymnast, a gymnast
Right.
kick.
Oh my God. Yeah. Right.
Physically, obviously we age, but as far
Yeah.
as like my grandmother, she's 89 almost soon, and she wants to learn how to use a laptop.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
she's always tried. I'm always interested when I hear about an older person. There's this dude in Connecticut. I'm forgetting his name. Frank Margallo. He's like 80, and he started stand up at 70.
Wait, I think I saw him.
Really?
Yeah, he wears glasses.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Yes.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But that's like that example. It's like you can start whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. And he's getting booked.
Oh yeah.
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 It's
No, he's
crazy.
funny. He's
Yeah,
funny.
he is.
Well, 10 years, 70 to 80. That's
Right.
It's a long time.
Yep.
Um,
Wow.
But I think it's, and it also, this is actually this is like as much science as we can get into on this thing, is staying active mentally
Yes.
as you get older. It helps prevent dementia and
Yep.
Alzheimer's and that type of stuff.
Yep, that's true.
That's why old people play cards and they, checkers or chess, or they do crosswords. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good for them.
That's true. You gotta find something.
Whatever keeps your mind stimulated and
Right.
and kind of keeps you having that
Thinking.
what do you call it, that lust for life, that fervor,
Right.
that wanting to keep doing stuff,
That's true.
gardening, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Wow. I like that too. I love flowers.
Do you?
I'm a flower person.
Okay.
Yes.
Your
like
house, you
that.
got
Heck
some
yeah.
flowers all around.
I want all everywhere. Put them
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. No, I think it makes a difference. It brightens a room, definitely.
It does, and it gives it lets the creative juices flow. So
Do you have like I know a lot of people who, when they sit down to write, they have like an area, or they have a process that they go through. Like, I'll have a cup of coffee and then I'll eat a toast or some shit, and then now I'm ready to write.
yeah.
Do you have anything like that, or are you more like, kind of sporadic?
With me, it definitely has to be quiet, and then, when I write a song, if I have a beat, I first listen to the beat, and that gives me the feel of how I'm gonna feel. Am I
Got
gonna
you.
be sad? Am I gonna be happy? Am I gonna get gangster?
Yeah.
I haven't. That's all I've ever written was songs. I used to write poems, but I was like, that's boring. So I started putting them into songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I normally do. I just go to a quiet place, like very, very quiet. And I like to have sunlight too.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that
I
is
like to
important.
be around sunlight,
Yep.
and I like to be around like something green. So I have a lot of different colorful plants.
Mm-hmm.
And that like helps. If it's raining outside, I can still write, but it's going to be a sad song.
Okay.
Like,
It influences
definitely.
you.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard, there's like a I'm not gonna say it's a disorder, but some people have it. I have it, the doctor told me, to where the the weather changes my mood. Like
Sure. Yeah.
It's weird.
Seasonal depression.
Yes,
That's
it's
what they
like
call it,
if it's raining or if it's raining outside, I'll get sad. If it's happy, I'll have this burst of energy. If it's sunlight, I'll be burst of energy. If it's thundering, I get a little bit anxiety, stuff like that. I was like, what the heck?
Oh, interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a little different than seasonal depression. What I'm thinking of is like when it gets winter, everyone's like, they're upset.
Oh, no, that's when I want to go out the most.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the cold?
I just like to see stuff. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, it's like you don't want to be in the house. Yeah.
Got you. So everyone else is staying in. You're like, I got to get out.
Yes, I
Got
want
you.
to.
Yeah,
but then I get out there and I'm like, nope, I'm going right back in. Yeah.
I'm sure that Michigan cold is rough.
Ooh, Michigan. Oh my gosh. That used to be crazy. In New York, I was like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I was like, why am I here? This winter is crazy. But Houston, what winter?
Really?
Like what winter?
Yeah.
Literally, people are wearing shorts and t-shirts
All the time.
in December, January, February.
I would love that.
Yep.
I hate the fucking cold. Growing up in the Northeast, you'd think I'd be used to it. It's
Right.
like, I can't stand it.
Yeah. A lot of people say that.
Yeah. Like my mom loves the cold for some weird reason.
Yeah.
And I've just gone the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be hot, humid, sweaty. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Right. Like in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably someday in my old age move somewhere that's just warm all the time.
Oh yeah, Florida or Texas, Georgia, ew. Like Georgia is so just overpopulated. I can never see myself living there.
Really?
I mean, unless I was getting paid like for a major role, I could not see myself living there. And I would have to constantly be a part of the payroll.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Atlanta's, huge for industry, entertainment industry.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's just oversaturated.
I would imagine so, right? That's where everyone goes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I for whatever reason I like the rain. I fuck with the rain.
Yeah.
I like the rain.
You can think better.
Yeah. And when I write, I occasionally like silence, but sometimes I like going to a loud bar or something. I don't know what it is.
Wait, to write?
To write, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I would be so distracted.
Oh, I love it. Like if I sit at my desk and try to write, I'll go on my phone, I'll put something on TV, I'll fuck around. I'll eat. But if I'm at a bar for whatever reason, I can just lock in a little drink.
Oh my god.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe like a Starbucks because of that atmosphere. But if it's like a bar, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll be nosy. I'll be trying to see what everybody eating, what they talking about, what they drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything on the horizon, anything new, any projects that you're excited about that are coming out?
I do have a new single that I'm getting ready to release, hopefully this spring. I'm aiming for this spring. It's just one single called Air It Out. It's a rap song. And then I also have the movie that I am a part of, just got casted for. I'm not sure when we actually are going to start filming, because we're in the process of like getting other things together. But I have that coming out. And also my website. I have a website and I have new paintings that I'm selling on there and new merchandise that I'm designing. So that's something I'm really excited about, because it's making money and it's showing people my talent, and possibly could lead to me doing like a showcase. So
right. Yeah. So a showcase would be like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it would be like a little art show with the clothing and stuff there, and invite a few other people, something like that.
Yeah. And what kind of clothes do you make?
Okay, so I primarily do tops. I do like hoodies, t-shirts, also jackets. That's what I've designed.
Okay.
On the website right now, I just have one t-shirt, but I have literally like all my inventory online, like pictures. I just haven't posted them. Just different things I want to make sure I put the right stuff. I'm right now designing more t-shirts, and I'm also working on another jacket.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And my stuff is a little bit grunge and a little bit crazy. It's a little bit out there. It's very colorful, very I do a lot of tie-dye. I do a lot of blinged out stuff. So yeah.
And it's all original ideas.
Yes.
Yeah. Things
I just think of, just let my creative juices flow. And with the paintings as well. One painting that I'm working on right now is it has like feathers, beads, just a lot of different things, just to show people how I am. I don't know how people will feel about it, but that's just, you know, somebody may want to buy it. You know, you just never know. Yeah.
Exactly. There are some things you just got to kind of separate the outcome.
Exactly.
You're like, I like this. We're going to put it out. There's a market for everything.
Exactly.
You know, like there's a market for Beethoven and there's also a market for
grunge.
Exactly. You know.
You have to be comfortable with what you're doing, and that's what I believe people don't understand. You don't have to fit in with everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate when I talk to a comedian and they're like, "Oh, you know, you gotta work clean. You gotta write clean jokes." It's like, if you like that,
right?
If that's your thing, sure, but you can't come to me and say you got to write jokes about this. You know, like if I don't feel it, I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
You know, and I hate when I hear artists or creative people fucking boxing themselves in because of a certain way. Like you got to do this a certain way. No, you really don't.
You don't.
Especially now, you really don't.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's put a bow on this thing, Astasia. This has been a great time.
I really enjoyed it. I knew this was going to be lit. I knew it. I knew it.
Thank you for making the trek out. It was, you know, I know you drove here, so I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Where can people find your music, your art, your social media? Plug it all right now.
You guys can find all of my social media links, all of my music links, all of my merch and my art, and what events I have coming up at Astasia, AstaSiamiguel.bigcartel, BIGCARTEL.com.
Beautiful. And your music is on
my music on Spotify, Apple, everywhere.
Beautiful.
Or just go to Google and type in Astasia Miguel.
There you go, and she'll be right there.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Be back next week. Peace.